Hi, it's 3 o'clock. It's Monday. It's our 100th episode. Welcome to Together Unlocked. Unsurprisingly, we are having some technical difficulties with our provider, so bear with us if there are some sound problems. We will try to sort them out as soon as we can. I'm Ju Gosling, Artistic Director of Together 2012, who are bringing you Unlocked today as part of our Join In From Home programme of fully inclusive and accessible creative activities, all based on the things you would usually have at home already. With me in my East London studio, as she's been locked in for the last exactly 8 months. Our first show went out on the 30th of March, and here we are on the 30th of November with our 100th show. But before I do some audio description, I'm going to go without further ado to the other end of our long-wheeled virtual sofa in the West Midlands for some introductions, some audio description. And can you believe it's 100 episodes?
Wow. No, I think is the honest answer to that. Because then all of a sudden that could make 8 months sound a lot longer, but then you remember it's 3 a week. So hello, welcome to Together Unlocked from the West Midlands end of the Together Unlocked TV very big sofa. I am Robin Surgeonator, business director at Together 2012, artist known as Angry Fish, and former Paralympian come medalist. So yeah, as I said, we're up here in the West Midlands studio. I will describe what I look like today. I have very, very clean, whitey grey silver hair with a almost kiss curl today, and it's just how it happened as I came out of the shower and brushed it with my fingers. Honest. I'm wearing no rimmed black arm glasses, blue eyes, and I am sporting a black round neck T-shirt with the slogan that says "You can never have too many guitars," and it's got about 15 guitars of various colors, makes, and models pictured in the middle of it. And as part of our celebration, I have extremely carefully placed fairy lights over our burgundy red, deep velvet red backdrop. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Josh Surgeonator. I'm also one of the hosts of Together Unlocked, and I'm a PhD student. I have slightly less clean, given that I didn't have the shower about an hour ago, hair that is blonde, it's long, and is swept over to one side. I also have a bit of the ginger beard on the sprout. And today I'm wearing I don't think it's Christmas adjacent jumper. I think it's not a proper Christmas jumper, but I only tend to wear it late November and December. Um, so it's Christmas adjacent, I think is the best description. It's blue, and then on the shoulders it has white, red, and blue kind of patterns with different shapes and kind of they're either snowflakes or kind of ninja throwing stars. So
It's certainly more tasteful than the ones I intend to wear next week.
oh, don't worry, I have a top quality ugly Christmas jumper for next Friday's show.
Okay, well, that's just one of the pleasures you've got to look forward to. So, like I say, I'm Ju Gosling. Robin is the only one who's had a proper haircut in the last 8 months. So, here I am with my self styled hennaed Corona crop, my black plastic glasses, also rather out of prescription by this time, my black wrist braces, silver coloured jewellery. I've got pale olive skin and green eyes, and I've got a kind of, well, we always end up, typical artist, having a debate when we audio describe about colours, but it's a sort of orangey yellow t-shirt, and it says on it, "We've only just begun," and I thought that was rather apt. Behind us, we have part of our graffiti banner showing, which says Together 2012 in graffiti style. And it has images of all the art forms we cover during the year, lockdown notwithstanding. So that's everything from visual art, craft, live music, film, photography, performance, dance, drama, street art, carnival art, and much, much more. But we've also got some seasonal decorations up in the shape of some glitter balls and some stars. And we have some 100th birthday decorations hanging in the background as well. Every time I move, I set a little glitter ball off. And then when I was watching Strictly last night, I watched Claudia bump into a huge glitter ball and have it swinging back again and nearly knocked her off her feet. So I thought, well, we're probably doing okay. So, last but by no means least, our chair, Judy Newman. What do you look like?
Hello. I've got gold growing hair with silver streaks in it. I've got dark rimmed glasses. I'm wearing a deep purple shirt with silver jewelry.
And indeed, if only you could see it, one dear little necklace, which I believe I bought, and it's in the shape of a wheelhouse with a ship inside it, which stays magnetically upwards. And that's because in more usual times you have a studio at Trinity Buoy Wharf, which is called the Wheelhouse, don't you?
I do, and I've got a website called Wheelhouse Musings. I did actually have a tabby on my lap a minute ago, a little tabby cat, who is the leader of the cats, and she's just jumped off, but I'm sure she wanted to be here to celebrate with us.
Yes, throughout our last 100 episodes, we've had various cats and assistance dogs, often contributing entirely to the show as well. Two of our assistance dogs actually contribute regular content. If you want to find out more about the animal hosts, who we realise are far more interesting than we are, then under the main Together Unlocked TV page on our website, there's a pull down menu. It has a highlights and links section first. That's really important. Everything we discuss on the show today will be on the highlights and links page by 5. But it also has an animal hosts page and indeed a Together Anthems page, because over the last 8 months we've created more than one song, and one of them we're going to hear from Angry Fish later. If you want to join in from home, and I think we have that coming up, oh yes, around exactly 3:30. If you go to the pull down menu and pull down Together Anthems, we will be singing We Will Survive to that well-known tune, I Will Survive. But yes, let's go back and have a few kind of musings, recollections, jokes, memories about the last 8 months. I just find it incredible. We did 50 shows exactly the day before shielding ended. And here we've done 100 exactly before lockdown 2 ended. And yet none of that was planned at all. It just looks incredibly well organised, but such is the universe. How's it been for you two?
Oh, I mean, I've loved it. I mean, apart from the technical frustrations, but I mean, it's kept us busy, um, in the best way. That's what you do for disabled people, obviously, keep us busy. No, I mean, it's been a huge learning curve. I mean, we've learned so much about, um, you know, software, software problems, using microphones, positioning ourselves, um, just the confidence to talk complete and utter twaddle when something goes wrong and you've got to keep talking complete and utter twaddle. And I mean, and learning lighting and different backdrops and, and of course, loads of really, really interesting topics as we've gone along.
Yeah, I think everything that Dad just said, but then kind of getting to meet some of the different artists and see their artwork and the different things that they've produced. And some people, it was kind of one-off things or bits and pieces. And then there's people like Stara and Act Up that have kind of every week without fail put something together, and kind of really enjoyed being able to watch that and learn about the different artists and things.
Well, I'm going to ask you to talk as much as possible, given the ongoing technical problems. But Josh, you came into this convinced you were a science student without an arts background. What kind of journey have you been on?
I think I'm still very much a science student, that I've retapped some of my artistic side. I think I had a little bit more when I was younger, kind of wanting to write poems and do photography. And it's something that I've always kind of kept with the photography, but let some of the other stuff kind of slide. Um, and most of my drawing was just doodles when I was on hold for various different things. So the opportunity to kind of explore that a little bit more in a slightly more kind of productive way. I still use it to procrastinate from work quite a lot, but I can claim that it was productive because it was for the show. Um, was kind of quite enjoyable, and kind of learning some of those new skills um, around kind of how to draw and things like that.
Well, as I've said before, there's an awful lot in common between scientists and artists. We're all creative, we're all imaginative, and we all have to be very committed to making something happen that didn't previously exist. So, how's it been for you, Julie?
I think it's been really interesting. I've met some fascinating people who've come and guested for us. I've learned an awful lot of new art forms, which has been wonderful. I've been trying things out myself, which is a real treat, actually, because we don't often have that time. And I'm really impressed that we have 100 episodes to look back on in years to come. This will be an archive that will also journal, if you like, document this period of time, which is unique in our own individual history.
Yes, and I think that's one of the things we said at the beginning, probably just as well, which was that whether or not we had any viewers, the four of us would be able to document, a really historic period, the first, if you like, modern plague for 100 years, and sadly, with all of the predictions, not likely to be the last one. So we're in a very, very different place to where we were expecting to be. I think one of the things that's been interesting for me is sort of rediscovering my studio in a different way, because my home is very much geared up to work first and foremost. But actually, since about 2011, I've been going out to work a great deal in Newham and not within my own studio. So to be living in the studio 24/7, yeah, there's an awful lot I think that's kind of maybe had just sort of fallen by the wayside, and kit's been repurposed and cables have been moved into different places and lights have been repurposed. I wish I could just swing a camera around, but it's not quite that simple. But yeah, there's a great deal in the studio that's been reconnected, removed, so it really feels very revitalized.
Yeah, I mean, we started in a different room the first few shows till we could get into this one, but we do seem to have remodeled it on an extremely regular basis, just to try to give that bit more space each time, and yeah, learning so much more. I mean, I think Josh is doing himself a disservice. For those of you who have been anything to do with the festival, the learning curve on how to run the festival stuff, with his multi screens and whizzing people in and out and stuff like that, I think has been really quite impressive. I mean, I don't know that I can work that fast. It's different. And it's very different. Sound engineering, I know what I'm doing. Zoom engineering, is seems to be you know a skill in itself, particularly when you've got the multi screen stuff going on. And I think working, doing running I was getting back to the running the poetry club and being able to bring that in has been really, really important. It's both kind of given us the um hope to I have an emergency call coming in. I'm really sorry. Can you take us off screen? Sorry, Ju.
So that just gives us the opportunity to dominate the conversation for a few minutes. And I'll get you to look occasionally, Julie, at the bottom of the screen and see where they are. So, one of the things that I was thinking when the guys were saying that is one of the things that I think has stood out for everybody over the last 8 months is we're all using technology that we didn't.
Yeah.
And my original reputation, if you like, as an artist was an internet pioneer. I was the first student in the UK to present my PhD as a website with film and photography and nonlinear reading paths. And, you know, the university wouldn't mark it for 4 years because they said there was no future in the ebook. So how stupid were they? But I still found myself in April having to learn a whole set of new skills. And I think that's the thing, wherever anybody was with tech, if they'd never sent an email or was very confident with email and WhatsApp, but never had done a Zoom, or was perfectly happy with Zoom, but had never engineered a live stream, absolutely everybody I know and everybody involved in Together has been going on this digital journey. If you're watching and you are a member of our clubs, then you probably already know you have a little present on the way, which is a Kindle, all of which have been purchased by different people in Black Friday and whatever the previous so-called one-off sale was, because there were limits on the numbers you could buy. And that's where we're going to be doing our digital inclusion work with our clubs program from January. We're going to be using the Kindles to write poetry, to take photographs, make short films, and critically, a Kindle is the cheapest way you can get onto Zoom. So we know that a lot of our participants have made huge strides since April. And very often, the only thing that's holding them back is data costs. But we also know that people not only need a lot of help just accessing a device, it's easier to see on a Kindle, it's a little bit bigger than a phone, isn't it?
Also, you can read on it, can't you? I mean, that's the thing, is that for some people who haven't been able to, well, certainly go out and buy books or get to the library in the way that they would do ordinarily, we can load books up onto that Kindle and they can read it.
Yes, and you don't actually need online access, same as you don't need online access to use the video camera or the still cameras. So our digital journey, both individually and a group, is continuing. I'm just going to bring the guys back in from the West Midlands. Tra-la, just like magic.
Sorry about that.
No,
that's
that's
fine.
just part of ordinary
is.
life.
And actually, those of you who have seen EJ or Emily, that's the same person, by the way. She went back to school for the first time in a couple of months last week at a new place for the time being, and they're kind of, I was thinking, oh my god, it's the school phone in. They just phoned twice in the last 5 minutes. I'm thinking, what is it? They're just letting me know she's had some paracetamol. Yeah. So I've said, can they, if it's at this time again, can they text? But so we're all good. Panic.
No, that's
Right.
good. And I think it's something that a lot of families have been dealing with over the autumn. The kind of constant school problems. And again, it's like technical problems. Whatever the problems, everybody has had school problems, whether it's constantly being sent home in isolation, not being able to make a smooth transition, and so on and so forth. And all of the young people, in fact, associated with this program, just like I would imagine every other young person in the UK, has been facing some difficulties. And again, that's why it's so important to document what we're doing. I can feel my mic playing up again, Robin. So tell us some more about how you felt over the last 8 months.
I think that it went from kind of, oh my golly, I'm going to have, what am I going to do with all this free time? I'm going to write that book. I've always promised myself I'm going to write. And I don't think I've written a word of that. And it's strange. And because, it's not, you haven't given yourself free time. We have, our time is being differently managed, but it's sort of even if you didn't go out before, the fact that you can't go out, someone is telling you you can't go out, just changes your mindset and makes you want to go out even when you didn't want to go out. And it's horrible again here today. So I have real no desire to go out other than to be allowed out, as opposed to, and because we are extremely, conscientious citizens, we have followed the advice as far as we could possibly do so, whilst having to, go to chemists and hospital appointments and stuff. And we are still staying. Well, we've been creative. I mean, I've um, made a film. I've made my first proper film, which you may get to see at some point in the next week or so. Josh has made.
Saturday morning. Or no,
Sorry?
afternoon.
Okay. Josh has made gazillions of different films. Like, and his editing skills have all enabled us to do, bring you content. And at the end of it, it almost doesn't seem like 8 months. I mean, we had a social on Saturday night for the swimming club, or our AGM that was postponed from July. They did it as a Zoom and then put in a social and a quiz and stuff. And it was like I had to do my coach's report, and it's like, it seems so long ago that we broke up, but also doesn't. It's really, really weird. It's like almost because you expecting it to be the same. It's like when you meet up with a friend that you haven't seen for 3 years and you carry on the conversation you were having with them when you last spoke with them. I found it a bit like that, really. It's kind of like just been in this, suspended cocoon of life, but also been really creative. I have written, I have played the guitar, I've written poems and all the rest of it.
Can I just say something? I think one of the things that I'm really proud of is our work around giving information about staying safe, the WhatsApp party, and Charlie and the Sea Monster.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to put you on the screen on your own, guys, and just see if I can do anything to beat the gremlins.
Okay, well, I mean, let's what we could do is talk a little bit about what we did at the weekend. I mean, the festival, we had Sahira's show on Saturday afternoon. Josh, which you were produce or assistant producing and doing the technicals. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it was called The Cockerel and the Fox, and it was taken from Arabian. It's a story from Arabian Nights, I believe. I'm trying to remember from what was said on Saturday. As Roman said, I was doing the technical stuff in the background, so you kind of don't really you don't really remember what's actually going on in the show because you're just concentrating on making sure all the buttons work. So it's a kind of a weird one. And it was really interesting. It was kind of split into three parts. So the first part was a conversation with Ju and Sahira about her life and kind of then there was the story, and then they had another conversation afterwards, a little bit more about kind of specific stuff. And it was really interesting to kind of see and hear how Sahira kind of decided to pick that story out of the hundreds or thousands, I guess, of stories she could have kind of retold. How she came to that one was quite interesting. I won't spoil it so people can go and watch it themselves. And because she'll tell it far better than I will. And that was good fun. And then, okay, what else did you do this weekend? This weekend was a bit of a blur, wasn't it? Went a bit kind of sideways.
Yeah, well, we hosted a quiz on Saturday night as part of the social I was just talking about. Yeah, we watched some explosive sport yesterday.
Too soon.
Which yeah, I mean, we talk about, I mean, not talking about it so much about the sport, but about the drama and the theatre of sport. If anybody out there didn't see the Formula One, which is probably most of you, to be honest, but a car literally exploded in half as it crashed on the first lap, and the kind of taking the sport out of it, but the sense of dread, the sense of fear, then the sense of hope, then seeing all the different emotions. And so it was, it's kind of really quite an amazing set of experiences that happened outside, between the race having to stop and the race restarting. That kind of whole drama was really, really, you felt it. It was, like when more than a film, than a film
because
you
it
would,
was
because
real.
you're there and you're kind of like, oh my goodness, and then when you see how this guy climbed out of a car, which would a year or 2 years ago, before they redesigned the cars,
He
it would have
wouldn't have been climbing out of them.
decapitated him instantly. So anyway,
This is wandering into the most suitable.
well,
It's
just,
a good thing our sound is allowing us back for just a little bit anyway. Did you do anything else creative at the weekend?
I played the guitar actually, quite a lot, bits and pieces. Because I keep changing the room around, trying to make more space, and now I've now got my amp under the desk, and I've got two guitars over there, an acoustic one, an electric one, and stuff. And somebody keeps moving it, but I've got an old Strat copy that I keep leaving in the toilet next to the toilet, and because to me it is the most appropriate time to practice. So yeah,
Because there's 4 wheelchair users in the house, it's not at all inconvenient for anybody, is it?
no, it's not. You don't take your wheelchair around the back of the toilet anyway.
How many guitars do you actually have, Robin? 15.
No,
He's counting for those.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I knew you should.
8, 7 or 8.
So that T-shirt's actually quite appropriate for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just trying to convince Tracy that we should invest in one that I've seen for sale locally, but I think it's my pleas are being
Ignored.
generous. No, not her.
It's a bit like me telling Judy she had to send her drone back on Black Friday on account of the fact that we live under a flight path next to the city airport and it's completely illegal. But I know what you guys are like. So I think it's about time we heard you play one of your guitars. So if you want to start getting ready. I mean, I think it was because we were all so impressed by Josh's drone and his drone photography, but it's not, if you are based in London, not a good idea to buy one. You will be prosecuted if it goes really just about anywhere, including in your neighbour's garden. Isn't that right, Julie?
Yeah, there are excuse me, there's codes. It has to be 50 meters away from a property and 150 meters away from individuals, and you have to have permission from your neighbor if you're going to fly it in your garden.
And you know what she said to me? She said we could fly it in the country. I said we've not been out for 8 months. How's that going to happen? By the time we get to the country, they'll have brought out one that's half the size and half the price.
When I was at school, our headmaster, who actually was a bit of a tyrant, but he used to say, rules are there to be broken. He just didn't like it when you did.
Yes, and I don't think after all of the chaos caused I really don't want the chair of Together 2012 causing chaos at the local airport. The Photography and Filmmakers Club decided they would copy Josh and do drone photography. That's strictly for the West Midlands. So now, Robin, do you want to introduce your song? And
Can I just check that is that volume on the guitar okay? It's not too loud.
Not too loud, but I'd be careful.
Turn it down a squidge more. Okay, so this is the Together version of I Will Survive, rewritten as We Will Survive, and it is still extremely apt. I'll just go straight into it. First I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live with COVID locked inside. Then I spent so many nights thinking how I could be strong, kicking back, believing life can carry on. Then we found ways in digital space. We just learned that there are many ways to help communicate. Didn't need to change our outlook, didn't need to find a key. All we need is some hope, 'cause hope can set us free. So now go, secure your doors. Just accept the fact that just for now, no visitors anymore. We're not trying to be mean, not trying to hurt you with goodbyes. We will fight coronavirus, we won't just lay down and die. Oh, now go, we will survive. As long as we stay safe and stay locked down home inside. We've got all our lives to live, we've got all our love to give. We will survive, we will survive. Hey, hey. Let's use all the strength we have not to fall apart. Keep trying hard at keeping fit for a healthy heart. You could spend your locked in nights feeling sorry for yourself. You could brave the isolation and break free from your shell. We will emerge like butterflies do, all beautiful and flighty with your lives ahead of you. So if you feel like dropping in, I'll politely say please leave. We are saving all our anti-vax to ensure our food's germ-free. So now go, secure your doors. Just accept the fact that just for now, no visitors anymore. We're not trying to be mean, not trying to hurt you with goodbyes. We will fight coronavirus, we won't just lay down and die. Oh, now go, we will survive. As long as we stay safe and stay locked down home inside. We've got all our lives to live, we've got all our love to give. We will survive, we will survive. Oh, now go, we will survive. As long as we stay safe and stay locked down home inside. We've got all our lives to live, we've got all our love to give. We will survive, we will survive. Hey, hey. Thank you.
Well, hey.
That was
Thank you.
great, Robin. Thank you very much. I'm now going to put on a short video that will tell you a little bit more about our Joining from Home programme, and particularly things like the photography, video and dance. Together 2012 is running a Joining from Home programme from our website together2012.org.uk. Click on the link at the top of the page, Join In From Home, to go straight to the main page where you have a wide range of accessible, inclusive creative activities, mostly using things that you would already have at home. At the top of the page and throughout the pages, you will also see videos in British Sign Language to translate the site for deaf people. These videos can also be useful if you have difficulties reading and you simply want to hear more of the content. The Join In From Home programme is based on the activities that we would usually be running in East London. Dance Club usually meets on the fourth Monday of each month, and they create improvised masked dance for the screen. Here you can also see their very first film, where they simply made masks from paper plates, covered themselves with fabric, and just moved gently to the music. You can hear as well, there's an improvised soundtrack. So we're suggesting that you make a mask out of anything you can think of. It could be a cardboard box, a paper bag, a paper plate, as in here. Video yourself dancing in it and then share the video with us. We will show it on screen, and we will also enter it into the dance programme of our film festival, which we run every December. If you're temporarily or permanently chair-based, there's also a warm-up you can do here created by our associate wheelchair dance company Folk in Motion, and that focuses on relaxing your upper body and improving your breathing. The Photographers and Filmmakers Club usually meets on the second Monday of each month. We're inviting you to make a video at home with the theme of home and share it with us. You can use a phone or a camera, make any kind of film you wish, including drama, documentary, dance, animation, artist films, comedy, and they'll be eligible for a CAT award at our December Film Festival. You can also watch with us from home. In addition to Together 2012 TV with Together Unlocked and other live streams, we have the Together Disability Film Festival highlights. Each year we run the International Together Disability Film Festival in Stratford, bringing together a wide range of films by disabled filmmakers, as well as films about disability issues and disabled people. We always publish the programmes online with links to the films that are freely available, so we invite you to revisit our recent film festivals from the comfort of your own home, and also to send us reviews of those films. And finally, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy videos of past live performances, artist talks, and creative workshops that we've produced in the past here. So, for example, from past festivals, we have documentation and films of creative dance workshops, street art performances, dances that the dance club have created, dance performances, and of course, we're continuing to add new activities on a regular basis. And for anybody who's thinking, oh, that video's a bit familiar, we will be revamping the Join In From Home programme in January. Can you hear us, Robin?
Yes, we can. Sorry.
Oh, a bit loud.
Sorry.
That woke us up, Robin.
Yes, that woke us up in the East London studio. There are cats yawning and prattling all over the place. So, yes, I mean, I think one of the things looking back over the last 8 months is I kind of did predict we would still be shielding until the spring, but I don't think we quite took it on board that there would be no real life activities even over the summer. But of course, we have got our heads around that now. So we are continuing to extend our programme online. Before we move on and talk about this week's wonderful festival events, and also, of course, about the fact that you have all the previous festival events online, including lots and lots and lots to get on with. Oh, and I can't even remember where that link was going. That's the trouble with being a presenter with very little short-term memory. Who wants to jump in?
I think we just talk about the fact there's you were saying there's lots online and lots of previous stuff from festivals to kind of whet your appetite. Stuff that's already run this festival is now up and online as well if you missed anything. And just I think we're leading into what we're going to talk about this week, which is coming.
What I was going to say just before that, thank you for the repetition, Robin, is if you are inspired to produce a live stream We are always interested in people who would like to bring their programs onto the Together channel. So do get in touch if you would like to come and tell us about your work on Together Unlocked. We'll be doing a lot of revamping of all of our programs in January. So please do let us know. We break for 3 weeks from the 10th of December. So next Friday will be our last show till January. You won't see immediate changes when you come back, apart from us all trying to remember how to make the system work. But we are looking for new ideas, and we will be applying for funding to take our digital program on even beyond COVID. So if you're interested in bringing some programming onto the channel, please do let us know. And ultimately, of course, Julie, you always wanted to set up a media training project. So I think at some point post-COVID, this will certainly be one. But again, we are interested in trainees now. There is the possibility of some local funding as part of a consortium for young people. So anybody who is interested in getting involved in the streaming, do get in touch. And I'm going to put something on the bottom of the screen now. And then, of course, we're going to talk about, we have a great film-packed week. Not 100% deliberately, it's just that all of these things coincide. So tomorrow for World AIDS Day, we have two theatre productions that would have been touring if it wasn't for COVID. So what we have is recordings from last year, in fact. So we have Damien Darkness's play Sex and Disability, which is a video, and we have Vince Law's A Very Queer Nazi Faust, which is a podcast with audio description. And they're going to be joining me at 7 o'clock to introduce those shows and to talk about sex, sexuality, and disability tomorrow, 1st of December, World AIDS Day. Then on Wednesday, Jess Starnes is coming onto Unlocked to introduce the walks that she's been filming. And that includes the walk with you, doesn't it, Julie? She's been filming virtual walks with people who are shielding. I'm not sure she's finished all of the walks yet, but she will be coming on and talking about how it's going. And we will be releasing the first of the walks on the website. So you will be able to walk with Jess and her guests and find some wonderful new places yourself. And then on Thursday, the film festival proper starts. What we always do on the Thursday and Friday is run sessions for filmmakers, both disabled and non-disabled. On Thursday morning, we have funding sessions with the Arts Council and the British Film Institute. On Friday morning, we have union sessions with Equity and Beck2. And then in the afternoons, we have practical sessions on how to film safely in the age of COVID. All of those are free. They are all on Zoom, so you need to book tickets via our website, and the address www.together2012.org.uk is at the bottom of the screen. If you go to the film festival programme, each of those has booking links. Unlike the rest of the festival, it won't be streamed live because we want people to be able to ask questions about their productions, share information. So we will just be releasing the presentations and not the questions afterwards. In the evenings, Thursday evening, we have a live event to kick off the first day of the festival. And that is Justin Edgar talking about his Reasonable Adjustment exhibition, which includes films, photographs, and much, much more. The exhibition is already online as part of our festival, so do look at that in the programme. It's International Day of Disabled People on a Thursday, so it's particularly apt to be looking at an exhibition around radicalism, activism, and the disabled people's movement over the last 30 years. And then on Friday evening, the film festival proper starts, in that we have just a feast of films running through to Sunday night. We have two more live events at 3 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. The first is with Sign Dance Collective International, who performed at our opening. and they will be presenting the Time Project, which is a participatory film-based project. And then on Sunday, Shadowlight artists will be presenting their Luminous exhibition, and particularly the film element. Again, that's been online since the festival opened, so you can check that out in advance. All of the festival, apart from the live events, will be just directly streamed to YouTube. The live events on Saturday and Sunday, and indeed on Thursday night, will be on Zoom and YouTube, just like our usual festival events. And what happens there is you can either get a ticket on Zoom to join in and ask questions and contribute, or you can just click on the YouTube stream on our website. And all of the live events, as usual, will have live captions, thanks to global real-time captioning, and BSL interpretation, thanks to Chris Burrows. Most of the films will have captions. Quite a number have British Sign Language. We haven't, unfortunately, been able to organise audio description this year. And that's been, I think, my one regret, that the size of the device that people are going to be watching on, plus the resolution, just makes it impossible. What we worked out is we could stream via Zoom and add live audio description on demand, which is what we do usually at the town hall in Stratford, but the resolution just wouldn't make it possible. So some of the films will have built-in audio description, but the live audio description, we are still, well, we're really seeking solutions that don't quite exist yet. But we do intend to keep a digital element to all of our film. Well, in fact, the film festival has always had a digital element, because what we do, and this year is no exception, is on Friday we will be publishing the programme in full with details of every single short film as well, and links to any that are available online for you to find out for yourselves and watch them anytime you want to. Some of them will only be available online over the weekend. There'll be a password and you'll just be able to get in through the programme. So it's been an interesting transition. We've always had digital elements to the festival as a whole. I mean, the playlists with Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra are quite a good example of that, aren't they, Julie? So you lead on our film club. What are you most looking forward to with the festival?
Two things, really. I'm really looking forward to the discussions with Shadowlight and Justin Edgar. I think I've been looking forward to that for a long time. The other thing, I like the programming. You always do a very good job of the programming of the films. I like the ones that we've got on, for free access from previous festivals. And I tend to use those as a resource for training and workshop leading. But I'm really looking forward to the animations this year.
Yes, one of the reasons that we publish the programme with these links and always leave them online is for anybody who studies disability film, and of course curators of other festivals. If you know, we are the only UK international disability film festival, and without that festival, UK filmmakers would not get their work showcased for other curators. Many of us, I'm afraid to say, do go around each other's festivals and keep picking up the same films. I have to say, this time around, I have personally been through over 1,500 emails that came in via the Film Freeway platform. So, as with nobody else really having festivals, it has been very much back to grassroots this year. But yes, and of course, the other thing you should have mentioned is that on Friday afternoon, you are chairing one of the events, aren't you? You're doing the practical session with Little Cog, all about how they filmed Funny Peculiar with Liz Carr, Mandy Collar, and B. Webster. And I'm quite jealous because Robin and I will be doing the live stream, and you two got the film festival.
Ta-da!
Obviously, dear viewers, we didn't draw the short straw, but we will be missing a fascinating session that you will be doing. And I think, you know, we haven't released the name of the company who are doing Thursday, but essentially on Friday, Vicky from Little Cog is talking about how they filmed on Zoom. On Thursday, what we'll be looking at is how people film with more traditional methods, but keep the set covered secure. I have said this before, but quite seriously, we did want to get Strictly on, but then by the time that the second person went down with COVID-19, we decided really they hadn't got everything that we needed to know, so we went back to the drawing board. But we will be running a very interesting session on Thursday, and like I say, they're all free. They're all bookable. Just go to the website and we'll look forward to seeing you then. And just finally, you don't have to be a professional filmmaker. You know, these really are. Oh, sounds going weird again. These questions really are for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think I am testament to the fact that you don't have to have made a film before, to have a go. You know, as to whether anybody's going to want my film to remain online after the festival is another matter. Um, but you know, it's a challenge, and I think that's what we need to look at all of these things as. You know, they're just artistic challenges, and it's really important that you can see those. You know, give yourself the have an idea and just accept that you don't have to have done it before. It is all about learning. It's all about new experiences. I mean, when we can all be filmmakers, probably everyone here has been on somebody's camcorder somewhere in the past. You know, you've been in a film, now make one. I wanted to say actually that I think tomorrow night's um, films or pieces look really, really interesting. And I particularly like um, the look of the Vince Laws piece. Even the description of it just sounds right up my street. It's very, very kind of sarcastic and sardonic. You know, aimed. If I've read it right, it's to aim to use a very serious subject, bring you serious issues, but make you laugh at the same time. Is your sound coming back?
Well, I think we have found it's just rather distorted. We are near the end of the show. I shall hand over to you the last minute.
Okay, no worries there. Yeah, so so obviously Wednesday, we'll look forward to Wednesday's show. We have Jessica Starnes, as Ju's already said, coming on to bring us the first release of the Walk With Me films. And then we will have our usual content for the Wednesday show, which will may or may not have some poetry, depending on how it all goes. And we'll definitely have our weekly section from Josh.
Yeah, we'll have the Clockwork Paralympics. Here's hoping that Az can go more than 3 centimeters in a straight line.
Yes, we know. See, we never rubbed it in when we won 74 weeks in a row.
And we'll also have a bit of a chat on sports news and gaming news as well on Wednesday.
And I think just as we've got like a before we go, I mean, as we talk about filming and stuff on Monday, there's a show that Josh and I and Tracy have been watching. It is an adult show. There is absolutely no question about that, but it's called Sense8. And it's SENSE8. The number. And it's made by the Wachowskis, who used to be the Wachowski brothers.
Now they're not.
Now they're not. They're now just the Wachowskis. And it is, I mean, the subject matter is quite bizarre and complicated, but the footage, you know, we talk about filming, the shot transitions are absolutely astonishing, and just for that reason, it's worth watching, because it's, without giving too much away, it's about different people accessing the eyes of somebody else, seeing the world through somebody else's
they're
view.
psychically linked, but they have conversations. Yeah, and it cuts between like India and Chicago in the same conversation.
Yeah,
it's
it's
incredibly
brilliant.
well done.
So just to
But
close
it's
on
very,
that,
very grown up with a very serious subject matter.
and
But anyway,
and watching the clock, it is now time for us to not worry about the mics any longer and go and relax with Arwa.
So we'll just say for our 100th episode, Have a very good day. We'll see you again on Wednesday.
Take a walk, and as you're walking, you're leaving your footsteps behind you. Then you look at your footsteps and you keep on walking. You're walking. You stop. You look around you. Then nothing there. Then you see a waterfall in front of you. It looks so nice. So you look at the waterfall for some time. And you go into the waterfall. Now you're under the waterfall, just listening to the water, and there are birds. You're listening to the birds. You're standing at the waterfall, just you, and you're listening to the wave, the bird, the sun is shining, the weather is good. How do you feel under the waterfall? Do you like it? Do you like it? Or do you walk away from the waterfall? But after some time, you come out of the waterfall, and there is a big mountain in front of you. So you decide to climb up that mountain to the top of the mountain. When you reach to the top of the mountain, you look down and you see the forest, the rainforest, and you can see your footsteps. You can see the sea. The water is the color yellow. So you can see the sea. You can see everything from the top of the mountain. You are at the top of the mountain, and you ditch your tent and your paper, and you start drawing what you see from the top of the mountain, and you feel relaxed, you feel calm, you feel torn. I just want you to take some time right now to imagine yourself at the top of the mountain. And How do you feel? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel happy to be top of the mountain and seeing everything below you? Do you feel at the top of the world? What do you feel reaching the top of the mountain? Are you sad? Are you alright? If it was me, I would be sad. I would be coming down. I'm going to leave you for some time to imagine yourself at the top of the mountain.